Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third day of Beyond, powered by Bangladesh High Tech Park Authority. And today's live and today's session is pretty much important for us. And this day will be dedicated for the startups. And as you have known it earlier, we are celebrating Inspiring Bangladesh is celebrating International Youth Day with a 3 days long summit on skills investment in startup. And today's theme is our startup ecosystem and the future of startup in Bangladesh. Today we have got with us Mr. A&M Shafiqul Islam, the project director of Bangladesh High Tech Park Authority, and other guests from different part of the world. We have got Mr. Nazim Uddin all the way from UK. We have got our very own Mr. Samiul Kabir, the CSO of Sheba.xyz. We have got Mukesh Malik from India, and we have got our last guest, Mr. Radwan Chowdhury from USA. So I'm inviting everyone in this webinar, the ninth session of Beyond, powered by BHTPA, and I will start this session with the opening speech of Mr. A&M Shafiqul Islam to know more about BHTPA and what you guys are planning with startups in upcoming days. So over to you, Mr. Shafiqul Islam, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. It is our privilege to launch this program with Inspire. The actually, I want to give you a brief account about the High Tech Park Authority. That what High Tech Park Authority is doing. Bangladesh High Tech Park Authority is a autonomous government body. And the main responsibility of the high-tech park is to create the conducive business environment for the investment. And we are working and establishing establishing the high-tech park and software technology park for the IT, ITS sector, and as well as the other sector that considered as a high-tech. Initially, we have started our project to establish the Kaliakor High Tech Park. Recently, we have renamed it Bangabandhu High Tech City Kaliakor, and that is our flagship project. And after that, we at this moment we are working to establish 28 high tech parks all over the country, different parts of the country. And if I talk about the Bangabandhu High Tech City, that initially our target was to encourage ITS sector to the onboard in our park, but it was not happened. But after 2016, we have changed our focus, and now we are encouraging uh, electronic and manufacturing industries in our park. And so now 5 companies working over there, and we have allotted 37 the land to 37 tenants. And in the list of the tenants, there is Walton, Samsung, Symphony, uh, and recently we have this is the COVID situation as uncertainty and a very negative, which causes very negative impact in every sector of the business and life as well as. And during this COVID, we had ensured another investment uh, of 300 million USD from China. The company Oryx Biotech Limited will invest in Bangabandhu High Tech City. And other high tech park in Sylhet and Rajshahi is also ready. And we are also creating the business incubation center in different universities. And we are in a plan to establish the university innovation hub in different universities. And this is the plan. But what actually happened in the uh, startup sector, innovation sector. when you see that this is the very important sector and real government realize and then government take initiative as the venture capital environment is Bangladesh is not developed, so government take the initiative and government launch a project called idea and government allocated 28 million 28 million Bangladeshi taka to nourish the startup activities in Bangladesh. And the project was running, and we are supporting startup and the startup culture. And after that, government also taken a unique initiative that government form a company Startup Bangladesh and allocated 10 million taka. And this is the initial investment from the government side, and the government also appoint the CEO from the private sector who has the experience to working with the startup activities. And this is the government activities at this moment, and government is very keen about to flourish the startup culture in Bangladesh. And so, the on my side, today I am here to hear about from you and to know about the how we could proceed.
Right, right. Thank you, sir, for
And
your brief introduction. With this note, I'll go to Mr. Samiul Kabir, the CSO of Sheba.xyz. Sheba.xyz is one of the leading startup in Bangladesh. So I want to know more about Sheba.xyz, and you will talk more about your startup and what are the upcoming things and what are the challenges you are facing it right now in this pandemic. So we will start this conversation with this topic. Samil bhai.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Imran Bhai. Thanks for inviting me in this beautiful show. And I'm glad to meet all the distinguished guests here. As you know, I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of Sheba XYZ. Sheba XYZ is, I think, one of the startups who started its journey back in 2016 after a successful completion of, with the GP Accelerator program. So where we started, I'll just give you a bit of background of our journey, and then what's coming, what our vision is, what we're trying to achieve now, and where we stand right now. So Sheba XYZ started as a service marketplace with a vision that will make our daily life easier, right? So when we did that, we had a vision that we will create an ecosystem that will not only make the household life easier, but at the same time, on the other end, where we have the people who are really making our life easier on a day-to-day basis. Eventually, these are the small businesses. How we can facilitate them, how we can create an ecosystem which will help them grow their business for the future. So with that mindset, we started our journey. It's an interesting journey. We started with 4 people now back in 2016. Before that, the founders did 14 months research before getting into action. After 14 months, we officially launched with 4 people, and very proud to say that now in our platform we have almost 200 people working, and the number could have been a lot bigger, but unfortunately the COVID really impacted us. However, the journey has not stopped. It was paused, but we have restarted everything with in full swing. So,
Right.
what is a service marketplace? It was like like on your day-to-day basis, household needs different services. For example, let's say on fine morning you find out that your air condition is not working or TV is not working. So, in a traditional manner, what you do, you find out, okay, who is technician can come and fix this up, call for help. Instead of doing that, you get into our app. There are 86 different services, more than 86 different services, where based on the demography, the locality, relevant service providers, the small businesses are attached. So you can see how good they are, what their ratings are, and then you can just directly seek for help, and they will our system will automatically connect you, and you can schedule the service. So while doing that, what we found, interestingly, these people who are these unsung heroes, they really don't know they're entrepreneurs. They're running a business. They're the owner of a business. That mindset wasn't there. The person who who does plumbing has a mindset that I'll be a plumber for the rest of my life. They don't really think that, okay, I am running a business, I'm an owner of a business, I can grow this business. Right now, I'm working by myself. Maybe if I can grow this business, I can employ 20 more people, 20 more plumbers in my organization. So that support we try to provide with the technology. So we found out we helped them getting a social identity. We helped them getting a digital platform. We helped them connecting to the people, right? So we did the marketing for them. We gave them that reach to the customers. We helped them, being trained on how to talk to people, how to greet customers, how to be professional. And we also help them on the skill development as well, technical skill development, so that their efficiency increases. And interestingly, what we found, this small, this number of small businesses across the nation is quite bigger. Like in Bangladesh, we have more than 8 million small businesses, which we call SMEs. Now we call CMSMEs, like quotation micro, small, medium enterprise. So we thought, okay, why not we try this system across the nation, not only for the people who provide service, also for people who are, small entrepreneurs, like running a tea stall, running a small retail shop. If I can provide the same facility there where they can connect with customers, where they can digitally track their businesses, it will help them making, better decisions for the future. That mindset is very important. So with that mindset, we evolved and we launched an SME MSME platform back in 2019 December, which we call S Manager, with the vision that this will help the small businesses have more sales. So we call it a growth hacker. In order to have more sales, you have to connect to more customers. You have to have more salespeople. You have to connect to different stakeholders. Like you need capital support. In Bangladesh, like 75% of the people there unbanked. 50 more than 50% businesses have capital shortage. So these people, they are not really they're not within our they're not eligible for getting financial assistance from the financial sectors, because the absence of formal record of the transaction and everything. So if we can make them use this digital platform, this can create a transaction profile for them, which will really help them getting financial services from the banks or other institutions. So what we decided that we'll connect our platform to the different financial institutions. So in order to run a business, start a business, manage it, and grow it, they can get the all-stop services here, right? And these people, if you think about a shop where you buy your daily groceries, they don't really know what marketing is. They only know they buy stuff and sell it to the customer. They don't really know the art of, marketing, or how to grow, how to attract people. So all these services, all these technical things that we have tried to demystify into their own language in this platform, so that it really boost up their sales. So at the moment, I'm very proud to say the solution, the app I'm talking about, S Manager, in Bangladesh, we have more than 200,000 plus registered small businesses here. They're running their business on a day-to-day basis. We have presence in 50, pardon me, we have presence in 50, almost 54 districts across the nation. And the service platform that we launched in 2016, we have that is only available in Dhaka. Recently, we launched it in Chittagong with the vision that we'll be launching it in other divisional areas as well in the coming days. As you know, this COVID unfortunately impacted us, big time, because our business had to be shut for almost 2 weeks, and then it took time to get the momentum back. But
Right.
the good is it's coming back now. But I'll get to share more. I think I've
Yes,
taken a lot of
yes.
time. Yeah. Okay. So I'll pass it to
Eh,
the next guest. Thank you.
right. We'll come back again to you, Mr. Samiul Kabir. I'll go back to Radwan Bhai, Mr. Radwan Chowdhury from US, to know more about his experience regarding startups and what are the future startups ecosystem of Bangladesh. Radwan Bhai.
ধন্যবাদ ইমরান ভাই। Thank you for having me. ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে. It's an honor. So Bangladesh, we talked about it in the last time. Bangladesh has a huge potential of growth. Is full of energy. The young generation, especially the young generation now, moving up and being entrepreneurs. So there are, statistically, I'm not sure exact number, but hundreds of thousands of young entrepreneurs now coming up with an innovative idea to bring the country to the next level. And thanks to the government who also taking a bold initiative that caused Bangladesh to have the highest GDP in Southeast Asia. So entrepreneurship is nothing but taking a risk, right? It's nothing but coming up with an idea. There's something you're probably already doing, but bringing it to a next level, to a consumer world. Being an entrepreneur myself, owner of a small company, several small companies here in the US, also trying to subsidize that in Bangladesh as well. As you know, Imran Bhai, last year, we're supposed to have it this year again, but unfortunately, as our previous speaker said, COVID-19 impacted all of us around the world in many shapes. We wanted to, folks like us who lives, outside of the country, outside of Bangladesh, NRB, non-resident Bangladeshi, for myself or Mr. Uddin here, we are entrepreneur here in the US, but we all want to bring something back home in Bangladesh where we grow up. And being said that, I think the technology, because I'm a technologist, so technology is probably the next biggest thing that will take Bangladesh to the next level. Whether is a growing up, bringing in a small company, technology company, or building something bigger, like for example, Batao, one of the company has over $500 million investment from the US and around the world. So I think Bangladesh has a huge potential, and the young generations taking that lead, and we are here to support any way we can.
Right. Thank you, Radwan Bhai. And I'll go back to Mr. Mukesh Malik to know more about the future startup and what are the startup ecosystem in India right now, and what are the technologies they are focusing on currently in India. You're mute, Mukesh.
Sorry, guys. Thank you for having me here. It's been a pleasure being with such esteemed panelists here. See, startup ecosystem in India has actually been evolving for quite some time now. I think we're good 8-10 years into activity, and some really good examples in terms of Byju's, Flipkart, Oyo. There have been some real global examples that we talk about today. I mean, we're boasting of world's largest or the most valued education technology startup in Byju's today, in a way. So if we talk about that, it is evolving. It is, yet we are evolving, we're learning. It's still not the age-old industry as we talk about. Like Mr. Kabir was talking about, that there are SMEs, there are MSMEs in India also as well, looking to innovate. Technology evolution has also been pretty good. We've actually made a huge shift from just being an enterprise technologies to ERPs and CRMs. We're now moving to AI, IoT, machine learning, innovative technologies, to a point space technology also as well, in a big way. If we talk about it, we just don't talk about consumer economy or consumer technology anymore. There's discussions now that started to happen way beyond it. Education technology or healthcare or health tech. Today is the buzzword, considering Corona and COVID times that are coming in. For instance, like had Corona been, I know there have been a pretty bad aspects on COVID and Corona that is happening, but if it were not for COVID-19 times, I don't think so we as a panel were coming together so easily the way we've done today, in a way. So
right.
So the world's becoming smaller. We're becoming digital. We are going digital. There are so many video streaming platforms coming in India or otherwise too. And I also see starking similarities between Bangladeshi ecosystem or consumer economy that we have in place, fairly similar to India, because the demography is also becoming fairly young, fairly youth-driven. Uh, Technology access is becoming easy nowadays. Government interest has been great. I could see Mr. Islam talking about 10 million takas being put into startup ecosystem, and they are looking to have that kind of interest. So I think evolution is really happening. I would say the COVID-19 times, the startup evolution has been quickened by at least 5x. I mean, something we would have been doing 2 years later, we are pushed to do today, at least in startup ecosystem times. Understandably, there is a huge mortality rate also as well. Of course, because of the old businesses which were working in age-old times and not really been able to adapt to what technology really wants today. But I strongly feel it has become a huge catalyst in technology upliftment, big time.
Right, right. Thank you, Mr. Mukesh Malik. And I'll go back to Mr. Nazim Uddin to know more about the ecosystem in UK and what you are dealing with it right now.
Right. We are into education, prop tech, and tech technologies. So what we are doing is we have a few offices in London and one in Banani, which is in Dhaka. In Banani office, we have actually two wings. One is prop tech technology uh, development hub, so where we have about 7 programmers, and we have 2 programmers working here in the UK. So in total 9 staff. And in our travel business in Banani, we have about 30 staff. Here in London, we have about 200 staff working in different sectors. We are trying to move into edtech because of the technology that are available, and you might be pleased to know that all our courses in London, we are now delivering the courses through Microsoft Teams and through Google Hangouts. So everything is now run online. So COVID has taught us how to migrate from offline to online environment in a matter of a week. Yes. So we can harness that technology, and we are trying to set up an edtech venture in Chittagong. I am originally from Chittagong, and I have a few people who are based in Chittagong. So the edtech ventures that I'm thinking about is to use the technology, for example, and then provide solutions to school-going students. School-going students meaning, so let's say coding. My daughter is taking a tuition from Mumbai at the moment. She's learning coding. She's at 8 years old. She's already learning Java, and tuition is provided by a Bombay-based company. And then my daughter wants to learn, for example, Photoshop. She already knows Photoshop, but I'm trying to source a Photoshop, trainer. So the examples I'm giving is to show that there is a demand in it. Our job as an entrepreneur is to connect the delivery provider with the customer. So for that reason, we'll be moving into edtech.
Right.
In our travel tech technologies, what we are trying to do, we are trying to create 3 systems in one. So we'll have a website integration tools, we'll have a back office integration tools, and we have data reporting tools to different regulators. So it will be more like let's say Booking.com, but it will be available to all retail travel companies. So that software has been in the pipeline for about 3 years now. We have started rolling out our project into 4 different companies. So one company in the UK is, 2 companies in the UK are running our pilot, and one company in Bangladesh is running our pilot, and one company in Congo is running our pilot. So I'm hoping that that product will be ready within 12 months time, and it will be a global product, meaning we can sell it to every parts of the world. Similarly, we can also have that edtech technologies available everywhere too. So in relation to ecosystems, I think in the UK, what we have is, I have personally visited a number of incubator sites. I graduated from Cambridge. At Cambridge also we have a number of incubators. What they do, they have a lot of organization like BHTPA, high tech authorities. They rent out space at a very subsidized cost, and different people within that space actually work together. They capitalize the synergies that are available if you talk to other people, and then they launch the product in 2 to 3 years time. And a lot of venture capitalists, for example, I'm also a kind of a venture capitalist. I invest in AIMS. So, for example, in the UK, we have a number of venture capital trust companies. If you invest, you get 30% tax rebate. So just a few days ago, I invested about £10,000, for example. Yes. So what we need is we need investment opportunities, like venture capital investment opportunities, as well as we need space, I think. And the third thing is we need ambitious people. And fourth thing is we need capable individuals who can contribute to the development. And I'm very pleased to know and pleased to share my input that Bangladesh has all the building blocks to be a successful nation in the tech space. And I'm grateful that Shafiq Bhai is leading that agenda. Shafiq Bhai, we will be behind you. And our job is to make sure Bangladesh succeed in the global world. And I think Bangladesh will succeed. So that's my opening remarks.
For your opening remarks, and I'll go back to our ANM Shafiqul Islam sir to know more about what are the criteria they are looking for into the startups, as you guys are planning to onboard startups in the High Tech Park Authority, and you are planning to launch a project based on the startup. So, what are the criteria as you are looking for to the startups?
Thank you, Mr. Imran. Actually, the whole government is now they're looking for to boost up the innovation ecosystem in Bangladesh. From the ICT division that I told earlier that one project has been launched, and we are providing the support to the startup. Before going there to discuss about that, I want to share what we are doing from the High Tech Park Authority. As we are creating the infrastructure for the investor, and each and every high tech park, we are keeping the one space reserved for the startup, and that space is ready for a startup with all necessary equipment and facilities, infrastructure. They need not to bring they need not to pay any money for that. It
Right.
is totally free. So that is our plan to provide the conducive environment for the startup. So we are creating that facilities, and from the idea project, government is supporting from pre-seed stage to growth stage. Now already 135 startup has been got money from the support from that project, and another 100 startup will be provided support in March, and we called it
Bangabandhu
Bangabandhu
Innovation Grant.
Bangabandhu Innovation Grant. And so that is on process, and we are working. We are not giving only the support, we are also providing the mentoring, and we are educated them how to run a business, how to run a business, how they could be a could be a entrepreneur, how they there is some technology and there is some idea, and how the technology could be the marketable, and how they could validate the product with the market, and how commercialization commercialize that product. We are providing those kind of support, and so yeah, we have created the startup company. And another project is coming, the and 5 years, 5 years we we will continue a program. We will run a program to develop the ecosystem, innovation ecosystem in Bangladesh. and university is included in that program, and the startup will exist in our existing high-tech park. Uh, they also are included in the project, and we are in a plan that we will engage two experienced private operator to operate the two program. And I have visited the T-Hub and also the Malaysia Open Universities and different universities. And so I know a little bit about that. One of our speaker was talking the involvement of the big companies, big corporate, the large corporate, that is important. I have seen in the NT Hub that there is HSBC, Facebook, Microsoft, Marubeni, and such kind of e-digital and such big company. There's actually they're running the program. They're running their program in that incubation hub. So, but in our country, some corporate are now showing their interest. Especially, we are getting they're getting response from our telco. So it is the good. And in 2015, before 2015, there was no accelerator or such kind of thing. Now there is some accelerator that is very good for our initiative. So
Right.
we are looking for the good future, and government is very proactive. Our prime minister, our ICT advisor, our minister, honorable minister, all are working to develop a ecosystem in Bangladesh, innovation ecosystem in Bangladesh.
Hello.
And yes,
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Shafiq, for your words, and we will grow. We will go to Mr. Samiul Kabir again to know more about what are the upcoming plans of Sheba.xyz. In previous of our shows, like when we ask our different guests, like from Bangladesh, who will be the first unicorn in Bangladesh. So many of them says it will be Sheba. So what are the upcoming plannings and what are the upcoming strategies you guys are taking to make this thing happen? Samuel Bhai.
Yeah. Thank you, Imran bhai. That's a big compliment, and at the same time, there's a big expectation from us as well. So, inshallah, we'll try our best so that we can, exceed that expectation. Uh, yes, I'll give you a bit of brief on that one. 2020-21, we have declared as a transformation year for us. As people know us as service marketplace, as Sheba.xyz. This year we're transforming into from Sheba.xyz to Sheba Platform Limited. The vision that I was sharing, that we want to grow, want to do something for the MSMEs. What we are finding that it is not really easy. We have to, we have to make them understand that digital system will certainly help them grow their business. Because these people, if you look at the literacy rate of these people, if you look at their understanding, their mindset, they don't understand all these, fancy terms like financial inclusion, digital inclusion, all these things. They only they only believe, or they only understand one thing: am I earning more money? Is my business growing? That's the only thing they need to know. So if I want to ensure that bit, it is not simple. So this year, what we are trying, um, we're trying to build that surrounding that will really support these people to actually grow their business. For an example, if I give you a share a case study, we had a plumber who joined us back in 2016. He was working by himself. After he joined Sheba.xyz, he doesn't have to now struggle to get more orders, generate more orders, to connect to more customers. We're already doing that on his behalf, because in our platform in the Dhaka city, we have around 5 lakhs 5 lakh customers who are already connected. So they get to see what services that person is offering. So with the help of this, now he's got now 20 people working for him. So this is really happy. Now, if I want to replicate the same model for a retail shop somewhere, let's say, in a in area like, let's say, Rajshahi or Nator, that the same model will not work there, right? So that retail shop, we have to ensure that how he can grow his business. So as a result of that, we are also trying to create a digital distribution network. For an example, let's say we have a shop in Rajshahi, the retail shop. Once he comes and get into register his business into this platform, Sheba.xyz platform, he will automatically get connected to some resellers surrounding him who are also in a platform what we call a digital distribution network. So those people will be helping that small business sell more products. This digital distribution network that we're creating, those people will be earning some extra money. So they are selling products without owning it. The small business also getting more sellers who he does not employ. So he just have to share a little bit of uh, commission or some profit from the revenue that he's earning. So that way his business will automatically grow. At the same time, if we can connect him to the financial institutions where the transaction profile that he's creating by recording his transaction, by recording his cash flow in this platform, the bank, the financial institution will be able to give him more financial services. Like they will be able to give SME loan as such, which they were never, they were never eligible for. So in these two precise things, we are trying to onboard as many financial institutions as possible. Currently, we're working with four different financial institutions where these people will be connected to these formal platforms, whether that's they will be able to open bank account or they will be open to avail financial services. So this is ongoing. This has not gone live yet, but this is something work in progress. At the same time, we are trying to connect with other stakeholders where they have lots of registered or lots of small businesses, lots of retailers there. How we can bring them into this platform, which will not only help them, at the same time it will be helping those big organizations as well. So this is something that we are trying as well.
Right.
The marketplace that as you know, Sheba XYZ, has that we have launched in Chittagong. We will be launching that in other divisional areas, but this takes time. For the service marketplace, I would like to tell you that what we are trying to ensure that the people getting into this platform, especially the service platform, we're trying to ensure some minimum income so that they don't have to look for work offline. Online should be enough. That's we're trying to educate them. We're trying to educate our customers as well, because we have a mindset that okay, if I directly get the service from the from this service provider, I might get cheaper price, but it will not ensure quality. So that's something we're trying to educate them as well. That yes, you rely on this platform, the quality of work will be ensured and will take care of the service as well. So these are the things that we are trying this year. So we are focusing on quality, and especially this COVID has really shaken the trust, the confidence that whether we can afford to bring outsiders into our households. But that is slightly changing. That is, I mean, not slightly. This is positively changing. We have ensured that yes, whatever we provide, we will ensure the hygienity. We will also provide the safety for both customers and the people who are working.
Right, amazing, amazing. That's really amazing, Mr. Kabir. And I'll go back again to Radwan Chowdhury. What will be your expectation from the upcoming startups from Bangladesh in terms of their category, in terms of their subject matters, and what will be your suggestions for the youth, those who are watching it right now?
Thank you, Imran Bhai, again. So the expectation as a technologist to young generations, be a subject matter expert. The demanding areas of the world right now, number one, is the cybersecurity, right, in the technology world. As we are affected by the COVID-19 globally, most company now struggling to figure out how they can manage their cybersecurity, because every enterprise, the cybersecurity is in-house. Because of COVID-19, we are forced to work from home remotely. which has been practiced long time ago, but now almost 90 to 95% of the employee of any company, specifically in the US, and I'm sure that's true for the globally, working from home because the social distancing. So that's forcing company to think outside of the box, that how they can manipulate or manage their cybersecurity or promises. So my recommendation again, be a subject matter expert. Try to a laser focus on cybersecurity. Java. Our guest Nazim Uddin talked about how he's 8 years old learning Java from India. So be a subject matter expert that will increase the market share. Right now, Bangladesh only doing about $700 million worth of outsourcing. That number is huge, over $480 billion worth of technology being outsourced just alone from the US. So if you think of that scale, the huge potential, and Mr. Malik can probably attach to it, that India takes a bulk of it, almost $1 billion worth of outsourcing. That can also, Bangladesh can take that much of a load because we have huge resources, population wise, and the young generation, over 33% of Bangladeshis are under 30. So that's a huge opportunity for Bangladesh to grab that market share. So be a subject matter expert, take a software or software testing. Like for my company, and I'm doing development in Bangladesh, but I'm thinking about also outsourcing testing, because testing is very easy things to do in the software industry, right? So in the technology industry. So Bangladesh can gear up, the young generation can gear up to do testing. Testing can be off premise from anywhere in the world, and that's what we need to focus on.
Right. Thank you, Radwan Bhai. And I'll go back to Mr. Malik again to know more about the government initiatives in India. Like, what are the like opportunities, or what are the facilities they are providing to their startups, and the things they are providing to create a startup ecosystem, Mr. Malik.
Well, see, government here is fairly active and very active participant in startup ecosystem today. We had about 600 crore fund dedicatedly announced for startup. There's a body called Startup India altogether, which is focuses only on building marketplaces, building ecosystem, creating mentors, funding opportunities for startups only at the moment. We've seen that Funding India or Invest India has actually engaged more than, I think, 20 odd countries in terms of bringing in foreign funding also for startups. That's just happening. There are a lot of exchange programs in terms of knowledge and technology transfer that is happening. Every government, state government, have their own dedicated hub, T-Hub for matter. It's a world-class global setup in India also as well, in Telangana and Hyderabad. So incubation and acceleration have actually become fairly mature as far as Indian government and Indian setup is concerned. We're encouraging entrepreneurship today, especially as Ridwan was talking about demographic dividend. In India also, we have about great population, more than one third or almost half the population between the age of 30 to 40 at this point in time. So it's a working population which can contribute to economy altogether. So that's where government is also focusing on, which can generate that, creating consumerism as well. So government has been fairly active in terms of policy, and in fact, they've also changed a lot at a policy level also as well to provide a lot of benefits to the startups and startup ecosystem in India. So it is right from top-down approach that they've taken. Tremendous initiatives. I have seen a lot of startups getting benefited out of it. I am board of, like, there is an Atal Innovation Mission which actually provides funds to incubators all across the country. Then there is Department of Science and Technology. They have dedicated technology and business incubation programs in hundreds of institutions today, with dedicated funds allocated to them and technology provision that is happening too. So government, yes, they've woken up to the power of entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem in India. So great initiatives and fairly cohesive effort that's gone in, right from policy level to provide resources to provide funds and technology altogether as well. So it's been tremendous. Last 4 years has been great in terms of
Right.
startup ecosystem with government.
Right, amazing, amazing, Mr. Mukesh. And I'll go back again to Mr. Nazim Uddin to know more about like what are the upcoming initiatives you guys are taking in Bangladesh in terms of developing your startups. At the same time, any other upcoming opportunities for the young people, for the young entrepreneurs or the young developers in Bangladesh.
I think firstly is we need to be globally connected. So youngsters should actually look at the sites that connect
Right,
the global customers and the micro suppliers. So that's one thing. The second thing is our funding. So remittance is a bottleneck. So for example, we have a lot of the small developers. We wanted to transact money from the UK to Bangladesh to his account. So now if we transfer any money to any individual in Bangladesh from our company, they do not get the payment. Bangladesh bank actually creates a barrier. Bangladesh bank asks them to provide so many documents. And this small developer doesn't have those documents, So for that reason, I think they are struggling to receive the remittance. And the third one is in Bangladesh, internet connectivity is very important. Uh, uh, if you have a good internet connection and if people are IT literate, there are massive opportunities. So I'll give some example here. Of course, everybody knows about Alibaba, how it connects between business to business suppliers and customers. Amazon is an interesting platform. And in Bangladesh, for example, is an excellent country to come up with crafts. Yes, they can actually sell those crafts through Amazon platform in the UK and everywhere else. But you would hardly see any Bangladeshi supplier. I think so. We should focus on micro export as well as bigger export. Yeah, we should focus on micro exporter as well as bigger exporter, and we should facilitate the remittance in such a way that there is no bottleneck in remitting funds from the UK companies to small micro exporters in Bangladesh. So that's about, I'm talking about the infrastructure side. Now let's look at the capacity building side. Yes. So if you look at a number of universities, some of them has incubation hubs, but I think we need more money, channeling into universities so that their students can undertake micro research, and they can actually produce micro companies. So, for example, when I was growing up in Bangladesh, I always wanted to set up some businesses, but I did not have any mentor, I did not have money, and I did not have any space where I met a lot of friends. So I was frustrated. I decided to come to the UK. In the UK, I spent about 2 years working for different companies, visiting different businesses. Then of course, I started creating my companies from 2004. In the UK, it was possible for me to start from scratch. But in Bangladesh, because of the social pressure, you cannot really do any job. You cannot really do anything, because of the social pressure. I think that social pressure is also sometimes becomes an stumbling block.
right,
So we need to encourage entrepreneurs not to be afraid of, failure, not to be afraid of, starting anything to get by. In relation to supporting the businesses, I have, as I mentioned, I have a business in Bangladesh. During the COVID, many of my colleagues have started working from home, and we paid them, of course, salaries at a reduced rate. COVID-19 loan, of course, in Bangladesh, there was that opportunities, but the interest rate is so high. So that's why I do not take any loan from Bangladesh, not even in the UK, because interest will create a permanent pressure on your financial structure, or loan will create pressure. I think grant will be a better option. So I'm encouraged to see that Shafiq Bhai's company is awarding Bangabandhu Innovation Grants. I think we need more grants for university going students as well as those who are creating businesses. So, for
Right.
example, my edtech ventures that I'm trying to create now, I know it will take about 2 years. So we need to pump money for 2 years without knowing whether it will make any money. So if we can get something from someone, it will always be a plus. But you don't want to take a loan because the loan will kill you because it will
Right.
be always there in your credit history. So that's why grant will always be a good option for us. So I would love to hear more about those opportunities that Shafiq Bhai is providing to us.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Nazim Bhai. Nazim Bhai, and we are coming to the very end of our sessions. We will end with Mr. Shafiqul Islam. Before that, I'll go to Mr. Samiul Kabir to know more about know more about the upcoming things and the strategies about Sheba.xyz, and at the same time, what are the expectations from the government level to promote or like to support your startup to make to take it to the next level. Samuel Kabir bhai.
Okay, thank you, Imran bhai. Yeah, thank you. There are a lot of things that's in the pipeline. I cannot really disclose everything for certain reasons. However, I'll just tell you in brief. Yes, the things that I have already shared in my previous show that we're trying to connect with different financial institutions.
Right.
That's something really big that's coming, and over the next few weeks, we'll be announcing that. That will be something a big milestone for our country. The expectation from the government would be, you see, the government, the way they're supporting us, the public organization, the private organization, they will have to support us the same way as well, right? Yes, we're a startup. We have a vision. Like as you said, a lot of people said Sheba could be the next unicorn. We also believe that Sheba will be the next unicorn. That's the vision that we have. We drive for, just to give you a bit of number, we launched that SME platform back in December. Right now, we have 200,000 plus small businesses in 6 to 7 months' time. So that gives us the confidence that yes, if we can boost it up, then this can really grow 10 times. Can you imagine if this grows 10 times what the number would be? And that's how the startups really think. That's the pace they run all the time. As Nazim Bhai was saying, we need to pump a lot of money. This will not start earning profit from day one. But we need to, in order to develop that, we need to pump a lot of money. We need to have that confidence that we have that runway. We don't have to worry about it a lot. So that's where uh, the public organization, the private organization, they have to act faster. They have to come forward and support our initiative with an open heart. If they
Right.
compare things with the traditional way that things been happening, this will never happen, right? The change will never come. So the private public partnership needs to result in a very faster outcome. Otherwise, our startups will never be successful. So my expectation from government, from Shafiqul Islam Bhai as well, that if we can encourage the private organization, the industry experts to come forward and support us, and give us priority in doing new things, that will be really really helpful. And don't, if we have to change our policy, let it be the government. We expect the government will help us changing the policies as well. We don't want to see that new initiatives are getting stuck because of the policies that's been there for many years. That is the only expectation from government. Please help us and for a dynamic policy changes where required, because we're here with a lot of passion, with a lot of dream, and the potential is there. The biggest strength for our country is there are 10 countries is one country. The population in a country is the biggest strength. That's very rare to find in any other country in the world. So once we get little support from government as well as a private organization and with the industry experts, I think the vision it is achievable in a faster than expected manner. Thank you.
Right, right. That's amazing, Mr. Kabir. I'll go back to Radwan Bhai, and Radwan Bhai is working with youth for like so many years, and at the same time investing into different startups and upcoming technologies. So, what are you looking for in coming days, and this new normal as well? Like as we are dealing with this new normal right now, Radwan Bhai. You need to unmute your mic.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you again, Imran Bhai. So what we are looking for NRB perspective, as another speaker, Nazim Uddin said, we need a easy access to invest in Bangladesh. Often NRB struggles because how the money goes there, and also a lot of bureaucracy and a policy. So NRB to invest, the policy needs to be a little bit more softened up. That does not mean that you funnel the fund, but that means it has easy access or where the access needs to happen. And we have Honorable Mr. Shafiqul Islam here from the High Tech Park. So, like for my company, right, I'm looking for, if I have a space in a high tech park, I can provide different services, and some services can be free of cost to empower and train our young generations. For example, in IT world, we can train our youth and our young generation if we have a facility in there for free of charge. I have a group of people, technology from here in the US, and we can provide that training free of cost once a week or twice a week. And if we have a facility where internet is accessible, big screen is or projector is available, they can come in a classroom style, and we can provide the training from here. What that will do, that will provide supplies to the world, right? That will provide, like for a small company like mine, we can hire those, students when they graduate from there. They can also do additional outsourcing to bring more revenues to the country. So economically, that will grow and develop the countries in many ways. So what we are looking for from NRB perspective again is the easy access where we can invest, and also we have access to the logistics. And the perfect person you have here in the panel, from the high tech park, something we can direct to him, and perhaps he can generate those access for us.
Right. Thank you, Radwan Bhai, and we're definitely looking into it. Now, my last question is for Mr. Mukesh Malik, to know more about the cross-border collaborations. That is the most important thing, as we are living into the same culture and the same ecosystem in compared to India, Bangladesh. So, what will be your thoughts on that, like the cross-border collaborations and creating a whole integrated ecosystem for the startups?
See, I think there is, as you mentioned earlier also as well, there are immense similarities in terms of culture, demography that we have between India and Bangladesh. And being neighbors also give us great advantage in terms of no real major supply chain issues or logistical aspect that we really could look at. And with technology, seeping through borders today from geographies, and as Mr. Uddin was talking about, a Bombay guy teaching his daughter in London right now, that's the new reality. I mean, we are living in and all. I've already started to a point. I've already started exploring it with Mr. Kabir in terms of how those digital distribution that he has built could be leveraged for Indian products right now. So all that something which is very much possible and on the card, and I'm sure governments at their own level have also engaged in terms of discussing all those cross-border possibilities. So in this culture, the only thing that I mostly see is policies become a deterrent, like Mr. Uddin was talking about, getting small amount of money also, it could become a challenge in its own way, or infrastructure could become an aspect, whether it's in internet connectivity or other stuff, that could become an hindrance to start with. But I still do see that we don't really need too much of training for the youth out there to let them educated about what Indian consumerism is or what Bangladeshi consumerism is. To a point, I even know for a fact that if I have Mass Bath in Calcutta or if I have Mass Bath in Dhaka, I don't really find they'll be too different from each other in a way. And if we just look at it and talk about it. So all that something culturally, yes, there are a lot of similarities. Demographic dividend, definitely it's there. Like Mr. Chaudhary was talking about, youth under the age of 30s being there. So they are quite well educated by instinct on digital infrastructure. They are used to social media, they're used to consuming services and products digitally. So all that definitely is there. The environment is super conducive, and it's so smooth transition that it can happen. I do see a lot of synergy that are possible, and I'm on the forum itself. I'd say that I would initiate that discussion with Mr. Kabir soon enough to figure out a lot of Indian digital products that can actually move across the border, and we can see how this digital distribution can really benefit, because I've built a similar network in India. We can really look at a cross-border collaboration in terms of using that. That could be the first use case which we can impact directly, immediately, in a way. That can happen.
Right, right. Thank you, Mr. Malik. And I'll go back to Mr. Nazim Uddin for the last time to know more about his expectation and what are the upcoming opportunities you are going to provide for Bangladeshi youth. Unmuted, Nazim bhai.
Sorry about it. As I mentioned, we are in the tech space, tech and top tech. The back office is in Bangladesh. We'll use UK to launch that product throughout the world. So that's one. The second thing is I have a plan to set up a training center for our youngsters, so that they can support or supply the educational side of the business. So that's the second thing. The third thing is I will try to invest more in our Banani office. We already have, as I mentioned, about 39 staff, and we are trying to set up an office in Chittagong. I have my own buildings, 2 buildings. Each of them is 7 and 8-story buildings. So I was trying to create an office whereby my colleagues can stay in that building, so that they don't have to spend time and money to commute, from their workplace to home. So
Great.
that saves time and money. So that's the third thing. And fourth thing is, I think creating awareness in school and universities, I think, is the way forward. Many people do not want to take entrepreneurship as a profession. Entrepreneurship is actually a profession in the sense that it requires a separate set of mindset and training. And I think that mindset and training needs to be included in the curriculum. The traditional way of teaching our students using the building blocks, physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, geography, is no longer going to work. We need to create a career plan based on individual aspirations and their dreams. So I think a bit more tweaking needs to be done in the education sector too. So in a nutshell, I'll invest more in Bangladesh to support my back office function.
Right.
More on people's training. I'll train people, and finally, I will still use the UK as a launch pad, so that I can go, do cross-border deal. And of course, we need some help, some grants. So perhaps maybe Shafiq Bhai, if he can tell us a bit more about the grant, or maybe equity, we can give a percentage of our business to his companies if needed, to secure the investment that government will be making.
Right.
And then lastly is, you need to look at the profile of individuals. We started from nothing. And of course, we are at some stage now. We don't want to run away with your money and, and live with the shame forever. So please support the youngsters like us, We need your help and support. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Nazim bhai. And last but not least, it's all we are going to Mr. A&M Shafiqul Islam to know more about the thoughts our speakers have put it in this panel discussions. To over to you, Mr. Shafiq. Please unmute it first, and we can start our discussions. Yes.
Thank you. Actually, this is very great discussion that we have learned a lot. And I want to extend my thanks to Radwan Bhai, the Nazim Uddin Bhai, Mukesh, Malik, and Samiul Bhai, and also, of course, to you. I'd like to start my discussion from the that Samiul Bhai was talking about the change. Actually, the culture, work culture, and the decision-making culture has been changed in the ICT division. I could share with you that we are ready to work 24 hours. The environment is totally changed at this moment. So we are ready to support you. And if I come to come to share some initiative that we have taken from Bangladesh High Tech Park Authority, that we are creating the infrastructure. I told earlier that in each and every high tech park there is a space for a startup. Mr. Yasin Alom, one of the viewer, uh, told us that he want to know about the high tech park initiative. That you could get space in every high tech park. Startup could get. That is the, I think, amazing facilities from high tech park authority that is providing. And another thing, we are going to establish the university innovation hub in some universities, and that will help us to create the a pool of human resources that is coming from university. That would be the ultimately the some of them, some of the group will be entrepreneur. And this is the initiative, the infrastructural initiative. And regarding the funding, our ICT division have one funding, that innovation, the innovation fund. They are also providing the funding support to the startup and the innovation. And we have the idea project. We have the startup Bangladesh company. And the new project is coming, under the Bangladesh High Tech Park Authority, and we could also provide that funding support. And not only the funding support, we will train up the startup to grow fast, to create a strong network with the stakeholder and acceleration. And we want to see that their product will go to the commercialization, and we want to see the a good service or product and good company from Bangladesh. We always amazed to hear about the company like Microsoft, Facebook, and the Alibaba, but we want to see we want to hear the experience of the company that is originated from Bangladesh. Then we want to create a startup culture. And another thing that about the training, from High Tech Park Authority, we are providing the training facilities for the ITITS sector, as well as for the tenant of our park. And this training is the demand basis. uh, that is, I think, it is a good opportunity for our IT sector. If Nazim bhai give his the demand, then I could arrange the training program. He need not to spend any money. He could give me the only the instructor and the course curriculum of what he is actually need. So I like to request Nazim bhai, uh, uh, Sheba, and the others, the Redwan Bhai, that they could take the opportunity, they could support us, and they also support us by providing the mentor, or by providing the resource person, that for the training program or for the workshop, that we could organize very easily. If you uh, give me the any schedule, I could support from our project.
Very
And
good.
Mr. Mukesh could help us for cross-border the
Yes.
collaboration under that we are going to sign a MU with the T Hub, and we could also could connect with the Mr. Mukesh, and we have a we were in a
Sure.
plan to
Looking forward.
visit the Ahmedabad, but there we come to know there is a very
Right.
good the startup culture in Ahmedabad. But
Absolutely.
due to
Absolutely.
Corona, it was not
Absolutely.
happening.
Yeah.
But probably we'll take the virtual tour over there. So this is the facilities from High Tech Park Authority, and we have the facilities, we have fun, we have the opportunity. But we need your suggestion, your advice, and your collaboration to get the success. Otherwise, without your support, we couldn't get the success. So I like to request all of you come and work together. We could work together. Thank you, all of you.
Exactly. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful closing remarks. And as we have said it earlier, the whole idea of Beyond'20 is to create a sustainable platform. Like we are happy to say that, like in this season of Beyond'20, we have connected 60 plus different speakers, investors, mentors from different part of the world, 10 countries to be very specific, and we are looking forward to continue it. In coming days with all of your support. And the whole idea of this platform is to create a collaborative and cooperative atmosphere, and the whole ecosystem will be depending on skills, investment, and startups in coming days. So, with this note, we are closing this session, and I would like to thank you, everyone, every single one, for your valuable time. And we are expecting to connect with you, and we'll be in touch in coming days. And I'd like to thanks everyone again for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thank you very much.